Hey, I'm Todd Newton. Welcome once again to the Tattooed Traveler. It's always great to see you, always great to explore this big, beautiful world with you. Now, on this episode, I'm bringing you to beautiful Italy. Not just any city in this breathtaking country, but I'm bringing you to the fashion center of the universe. This is Milan. Yes, welcome to the city of Milan, Italy, a place where history and culture and cutting-edge fashion just seem to blend seamlessly. This is the birthplace of such renowned brands as Armani, Prada, Versace. Milan is a fashionista's paradise. But I didn't come all the way to Milan just to shop, although there will be a little bit of that. I came to share the architecture with you, the great cuisine, and to try to figure out once and for all how these things really work. Now, Milan may not have the panache of, say, a Venice or the historical significance of Rome, but one thing you will find here in Milano is food, delicious food. And big portions, you know. I love the big portions. But you won't have to wait for your meal because Milan is the #1 destination for aperitivo. Between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m., most of Milan's cafes and bars fill up with people enjoying a drink or a snack ahead of time. And dinner here in Italy sometimes doesn't begin till as late as 10 p.m. Settembrini 18 came very highly recommended for incredible pasta, ambiance, great service, everything that I was looking for on my first night in Milan. To wet my whistle, Birra Moretti. The first bottle of Moretti was sold more than 150 years ago. It's a leading brand here in Italy, exported to more than 40 countries today. Just perfect to wash down that pasta bolognese. But how about this dessert? Chocolate cake on the left, cheesecake on the right, both made from scratch in the kitchen about 10 feet behind me. I have nothing but the highest praises for the food and the staff at Settembrini 18. Milan is very much a city of self-expression. And back in the 1920s, I believe it was 1927 to be exact, there were no doorbells on any of these extraordinary buildings that you see here, a lot of apartments. So an architect got creative and installed this big bronze ear so visitors could just yell into the courtyard and their hosts could come down and let them in. This particular building was built in 1930. It's called Casa Solibusca, or House of the Ear, and it's in the Zone of Silence neighborhood here in Milan. Does this really work? No? No.
It was working many years ago.
Yeah.
It was like phone.
Uh-huh.
Phone.
You could just yell into it?
Yeah.
I guess it really shouldn't come as a surprise that homes here would have such extravagances like a bronze ear. Milan is, after all, the wealthiest and most expensive city in Italy to live in. Which is to be expected, I guess, when you're living in a city that has a canal network that was built by Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, come on, this is the guy that created one of the most recognized works of art in history. And of course, I'm speaking of The Last Supper. You must see it when you're in Milan. It's here at Santa Maria del Grazie, Holy Mary of Grace. But please book your 15-minute viewing segment weeks in advance because tickets sell out far, far ahead of time. And depending on which source you use to purchase those tickets, they'll run you anywhere from $15 to about $25 US. Now, it's worth getting an early start on the day you're visiting the Last Supper because you want to have a little bit of time to explore Santa Maria del Grazie. This basilica was commissioned in the early 1460s, but it had a dual purpose, which was unusual at the time because it also consisted of a Dominican convent. These magnificent columns, as well as that drum-shaped dome. Those are additions to the original building, and these additions were completed around 1497. When visiting the Basilica and any church here in Italy, it's important to note that there is a strict dress code. No bare shoulders, no bare arms, and all shorts for men and for women must go down past the knee. Take one more look at that dome. Visiting hours here are Tuesday to Sunday from 8:15 in the morning till 7 p.m. at night. Last admission is at 6:45 p.m. Now, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, the Last Supper painting, which is inside the Santa Maria del Grazie, here, we're making our way there now, can only be viewed for 15 minutes at a time by groups of 25 people, no more. And once you have your scheduled time, ticket in hand, you must be here 20 minutes prior to your allotted time. All right, you ready? Let's head over and see the Last Supper. Here's the entrance. And groups are let through hermetically sealed doors. First, you receive a little history on the painting, some of the damage it suffered due to bombings during the war. And then you are granted access, and it just takes your breath away. Leonardo da Vinci was around 43 years old when he painted the Last Supper. The portrayal of when Jesus announced to his apostles that one of them would betray him, and in the hand of Judas Iscariot, a bag of coins there. There are so many stories being told, from the positioning of the subjects' bodies to the expressions on their faces, even the food that's being served in the painting. Really get you thinking, get you talking. We're very fortunate here on The Tattooed Traveler to be able to feature a lot of great cathedrals. In my opinion, some of the most magnificent architecture there is, and very few of them compare to the Duomo here in Milan. There are 368 cathedrals in Italy. By comparison, there are 193 in the United States. But the Duomo Cathedral, man, construction began in 1386, and the last details were only completed in 1965. So you can say that it took almost 600 years to finish this cathedral. And to stand this close to the 5th largest church in the world, well, let me just say I'm glad you're along for the ride. Just look at the detail on these statues. There are more statues on this Gothic-style cathedral than any other building in the world. 3,400 statues, including 135 gargoyles, which, by the way, you can adopt. Check out the Duomo's website for more info there. The church covers a surface of 109,641 square feet, an entire city block. Now, as we prepare to go inside, remember what I said about making sure you're covered, legs, arms? Well, it certainly applies here too. But you don't have to worry, because for $3, they'll sell you this pretty much see-through coverall. Talk about a great souvenir. I didn't mind coughing over a few extra bucks. Admission to get inside the cathedral, I'm really having a hard time tying this thing, was only $11 US. That did not include, however, the lift or the climbing of the stairs up to the roof. But once inside, you feel like you've stepped back in time. Again, construction officially started in 1386, and this entire building is made up primarily of pink-hued white marble. And to get that marble here to Milan from various quarries around Europe, they had to dig special canals. Thousands of artists and sculptors and specialized workers were involved in the construction, and they're the ones who get the credit for what we are able to enjoy still today. It's difficult to really capture the majesty of this cathedral. I'm trying my best, but believe me, the video you're seeing here, it doesn't do it justice. Something you need to see for yourself. And you might find this interesting. The cathedral is still not finished. After its consecration in 1418, it remained incomplete for Oh, centuries. It was actually Napoleon who finished the facade and jump-started the final stages of construction. He did that in the early 19th century. One of the most photographed statues, it seems, here at the cathedral is this one. This is Saint Bartholomew skinned, and it dates back to 1562. I'm just going to let you take a look around here as I make my way over to the grand organ. Easily the largest organ here in Italy, the second largest in Europe. It consists of 15,800 pipes. Can you imagine the sound that makes? Blending perfectly with this gorgeous stained glass. The church welcomes all who wish to enter for prayer or to participate in services. You can see a timetable of services on their website. I love how the sun just lights these stained glass windows up. There are 55 of these giant stained glass windows, by the way, each pane consisting of incredible detail. And in the center of it all here at the Duomo is the crypt. This circular space, you can't miss it, contains an altar with relics right in the middle, surrounded by 8 Tuscan columns. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Back outside and just across Piazza del Duomo, the town square, is, and get ready for it, the oldest shopping mall in the world. This is the Galleria, but you're not going to find a Spencer's Gifts or a hot dog on a stick. No. We're talking Chanel, Saint Laurent, Louis Vuitton, high-end stuff for your high-end self. Construction began on the Galleria in 1865. Now, before our time together in Milan comes to an end, I invite you to join me for dinner at Risolate, a restaurant that makes you feel like you're having dinner at your grandma's house in the 1960s. Assuming, of course, that your grandma was Italian, which mine was not, and that you were around in the 1960s, which I was not. Nonetheless, the food was incredible, but it's really all about the experience and the decor. The laundry hanging on the line, the red and white checkered napkins, the glasses that don't match. You can almost smell the risotto from there, can't you? And don't even get me started on the breaded meatballs. Then for your next course, it's the spaghetti, cheese and pepper in a Parmesan basket. And finally, the risotto, which I was teasing you about, because when in Milano, you must go risotto. And just like any good grandma would do, the fine folks at Risolate don't want you to go to bed with one dessert in your belly. How about 2? Tiramisu on your left and pistachio ice cream on your right. Thank you so much for spending time with me here in beautiful Milan, Italy. I hope you enjoyed our visit. If you did, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Tattooed Traveler channel. Believe me when I tell you, my friend, we have a lot of great destinations still to come, and you don't want to miss a single one. No matter where you're watching us in this big, beautiful world of ours, I'm Todd Newton. I look forward to seeing you again soon, a little further down the road. Until then, travel safely.